Very good morning to all of you. To the Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Ewan Kavare and Mr. Mani, the State Head for KVS, the dynamic gentleman, Dr. Ram Narayanan, Mr. Santosh, Kailash, and many of us whom I know here, and my lovable teachers. It's a great occasion for me to be with you today. I've cancelled all my program. I told Ram Narayanan a few days back that the full session I will enjoy with all of you. Now, the very idea of that just Ram Narayanan told me now how the classroom should be. What is the part played by the partners, the teacher and the students? This should have been the main aim of our talk, say. Teachers are not the enemies of students and students are not the enemies of teachers. They are not entering into the room with the idea of fighting with each other and a hatred feeling. We are each loving the other with a God-given gift of giving our knowledge to the student and making the student to understand what role we are playing and what capacity we are playing to improve their quality, discipline and knowledge. Once this quality, discipline and knowledge is embedded into them, it is an automatic sequence that their goal will be reached and our goal will be reached. The goal is the uniformity in performance. Incidentally, it may land to getting 100 marks. When a teacher enters into a class, with a good amount of good feeling he should enter, and the students should be very anxious to see the teachers. Both the group of personalities have a great role in modernizing the education useful to each other and the society. It is wrong to think, it is much so happen in our country that learning process is over to the teacher the moment he takes the chalk piece. It is not that case. When I was in US, they say the tenure teacher, unless you establish the qualities of a good teacher, however long you work, you cannot endure the teaching position there. Unfortunately, in our country, the moment you are appointed as a teacher and the probation period is over, we are the monarch of our qualification and education, but of our capabilities, nobody is there to judge. There may be self-assessment, assessment periodically by others. Unless we assess ourselves, it is not going to play a greater role. I every day pray, even just before a few minutes back when Dr. Ram Narayanan asked me to come over here, I do not know what I have to talk. Even now I do not know what I am going to talk. But still one thing clear that I serve more than 60 years of teaching, and that should definitely help me to talk something meaningful to all of you. In every one of my classes, I really enjoyed very much. I really think that I should be away from my home. My wife is not a fighter. She is always loves me and also coordinate with me in performing my job. But the more I be with the students, the more pressure really I enjoy. What made me to learn to this? I may be one of the gifted, and therefore I want to share. When I am gifted this way, why not be possible to every one of you? Probably you are a better teacher. Your technologies are much more elegant than mine. You are young and energetic to express to the student. You are coming from very good society and college schools. KV are one of the best set of schools in our country. Therefore, your product is very good, whether the inflow or the outflow. You are taking good students. Definitely it will be possible for you to send good students to our colleges. We too take good students, no doubt. But the responsibility is that how the output is going to be. Every day, whenever I am also in the management of Vivekananda College, I love my teachers. I tell them, don't consider me as an assistant secretary for the college. Consider me as your close friend and who belong to the society of teachers. Share with me your idea. I am prepared to tell you what my experience. You might be a better teacher than myself. It is a fortune that might have made me a good teacher, is what others say. But your good work definitely is going to make you, every one of you, as good teachers. What a good teacher will think of himself. First of all, the punctuality is very important. Today I was there before 9 o'clock here. Even though I was in the station, railway station, or to any meeting. If I go late, nobody will ask me why you are late, but my conscience will always prick me. Somehow or other, God trained me that way. So when I go to the class first of all, student will respect the teacher has come in time. We can locate the good students. We can locate the poor students, some mischievous students too. Mischievous students are going to come out as the very best student, useful society. The way in which you deal with them is going to be very important. I have a lot of examples. I can talk the whole day of my examples without even preparing for that. In one of the situations, I remember somewhere in 1982 or so, my opposite house friend is a lawyer. His wife and my mother were good friends. The boy was a student of Vidya Mandir, Mylapore. Fortunately, selection was not there. The boy got 7 out of 100 in the December exam. Vidya Mandir used to conduct the exam in the first week of December because they want to give them Pongal holidays instead of Christmas holidays. They approached my mother and my mother trusted on me. The question, it is not a question of trust. What is the matter? The boy got only 7 marks. The mother wants to make him at least pass in Vidya Mandir. By virtue of his position, father's position, he was not sent out or dropped. I told him, I don't want this. I asked the boy's mother, will the boy be all right if he sit with a set of postgraduate students whom I am teaching, and the boy has to sit with me night 8 to 10 o'clock? The mother readily agreed. I didn't do anything to him. What the love that matters is more important. Along with my teaching to the postgraduate students, in and then I used to teach him. I saw the last few years question paper. The concept, I said I worked 1 or 2. Even if he make a mistake, I pat him on that. Don't bother. You will learn very nicely. The boy got encouraged. He came to me by the end of January. 1st March is the exam. Believe me or not, you can go and inquire also. The boy got 95 out of 100. Not only that, he pursued CA. He told me that you are teaching at CA Institute. Therefore, I would like, even though I was a science student, I preferred to choose CA as my career. I told them, now that you have got a good marks, why don't you go to engineering? Your father knows so many people. No, sir, you are better than my father in this respect. I will prefer CA course. His name is Viswanathan, still I remember, 82 batch. He passed in the first attempt CA Inter and also the final in the first attempt, which is a very rare phenomenon. Only 10% of the students who take the exam in CA Inter pass. 3 or 4% of the students who take the final pass. He passed. It's not a glory of me. I am pointing out to this because the motivation that I gave to the boy, somehow God helped him to cross the level of diffidence to encouragement and boosting his morality to face the challenge. Even few days back, he is working in Singapore in one of the foreign companies. He is a director in many companies. Every Teacher's Day you send to me. And he came with his wife and daughter. He told me, sir, my daughter is in 11th standard in Vidyaman, there you must help. I told him, now I am crossed 80. But whenever doubt comes, I will ask him to send me. I will definitely do help. But I cannot be a full-time teacher. So much of courage, confidence, energy that I had in 1982, I am not having in 2017. But I don't want to say that it is no. I am still confident of giving her the gay, but not sitting full time. When he introduced his wife as a doctor, I told him, probably I need more help from you, therefore, a person with 80 and a wife with 70 is suffering from migraine. I told him that you can be a better guide and useful to me rather than myself. But somehow or other, I told him my help is always there. Such an amount of things that the impact of your teaching, the love and affection that you do to the student, but never point out their drawback. See, pointing out the drawback is a negative aspect of thinking. The boy is demoralized. He will dislike you, thereby he will dislike your subject. Incidentally, he will dislike the whole course. In my last cave, I said that how a mischievous boy has turned out to be a nice boy. It all depends upon the psychology that you play. I saw in my WhatsApp that Dr. Ramnarayanan is going to give a lecture on 16th evening in the University of Madras. At the same time, I also have a lecture in the Department of Statistics there regarding psychometric drama or so. So, the psychology for the teacher is more important. We fight with our wife, children, many other things. But the moment we go to the class, we should forget everything. These thoughts should not come to us. When I see the young children sitting in my presence, about 200 students I see, every day I see that my lifetime is increased at least more than one day in every one of my lectures that I gave. We point out very good students. We go with open mind. See, by virtue of experience, you see. But the experience is a bad aspect. Once, a teacher in my college, there was a great professor, Dr. Mr. Sundaramayyar in Vivekananda College. Some teacher pointed him, I'm 30 years old, still you are scolding me. Then the principal Sundaramayyar said, a 30-year-old ass is still an ass. The 30 years experience might not be quoted, but what you made in your 30 years to uplift the education of the children, that you must quote. We have to maintain a diary. What are the plus and minus points of our teaching life and how to negativate the minus point? Definitely in the sense of Mr. Ramnarayanan, we can score 100 marks in this. We will be able to reach to the top level of teaching. If you look at the students, your focus should go on the poor students of the class. One or two students problem you do, when you find out good students do this problem, very good. In spite of you will come up well. But the poor students is not able to. I asked him to come to the board. Some of the students might feel shy. I tell them one secret now I can say, because I have more than 60 years of teaching. You will not say that I am a bad teacher, because society has given me a name that I am a good teacher, whether I am worth it or not. But see that I was also much poorer than you long about 50 years back as a student. But if you come to the board, your mind will force to think on your own self. Don't think inferiority. All of you are like the same way. Every one of you are classmates. Then he will come on the board. I'll ask him to read the problem. He will write on the board. Think what it is. Then I will ask him give the first step. Every student will understand because the student is teaching now. He is on par with the other students, even though my voices go as a playback. The second step, everything I will write. After completing the problem, I will ask him, I told the answer, everything you wrote, did you follow? The student, yes, sir, I am followed because I don't know when you are going to stop. Therefore, I must proceed, right? These such students we have produced in many number of students, even in latest years teaching, we follow this technique. We never teach students. We will always encourage them. I used to tell them that don't see these movies or even your mobile. Come by walk from your house to the CA Institute. I do most of the days. I go by bus. I'm capable of keeping a car. But I go by walk. God has given you the hands and legs so that my health is much better. I'm a diabetic, but still I'm able to carry on. Therefore, I tell the student, come by walk. Your brain cells will function very nicely and therefore you will be able to understand things. Several students, we made them to work on the board. There's a force on them to work. Other students follow him. Those students who cannot listen to you, however good you may be as a teacher, they will like to see him just with the curiosity of noting what mistakes he is making. Even if he makes a mistake, there's a plus point to the other student because the students are able to point out that he is making a mistake. But when we teaching, even if I make a mistake, nobody will point out because unfortunately they think what I write, everything is correct. But if a student writes, their mind works to see that what mistakes he come. Therefore, one of the points that I would like to stress is that we have to give importance to the students in the classroom curriculum. It should not be a monologue of the teacher of 45 minutes or 1 hour. It's a better of interaction with the student. That's why in foreign countries seminars are introduced. Seminars are for the interaction between the students and the teachers. When the students interact, I do not know what I have to talk because I am listening to all these people. The flow of ideas is coming. Therefore, if you allow the students to talk in the class, interaction makes him to understand, gives you the necessity also to point out what is correct and what is wrong. Otherwise, they will be just watching the show. Somewhere I saw that Vittal show. I told Ram Narayan, don't put the way show, it is stop. No. Therefore, when you make them to interact, they have some important role to play. They are the future citizens of this country. I know that some of the union ministers from Tamil Nadu, fortunately, unfortunately, I had the chance of teaching them also. One of the union ministers' father told me that I'm sending you to teach mathematics, not mathematics only, but I heard that you're a good disciplinarian. Please also teach him discipline. Therefore, if you allow the students to follow your own code of conduct, their discipline automatically comes to you. I have a record of all these letters in my file that the present union minister, former union minister, their interaction with me to send the children to educate. Then only I came to know how noble this profession is compared to many other professions. A union minister is coming to us and asking to coach his children. Much more union ministers is come of you all because future is going to be in the hands of the teachers. Nobody in this world except the teachers can contribute. Teacher is an ordinary man, not an ordinary man. Any ordinary man cannot become a teacher. He has a special quality. He cannot be compared with police. Police forces are threatening, but we are showing with love and affection to the students. The students should more like that we should taught today's class. I used to enjoy, egoistic rather to say sometime, When some of the parents phoned me in the past, sir, there is his sister's marriage day is tomorrow. I asked him to be at home. He said that he will come and attend your class. I told him, you send the leave letter. No, we know how to send the leave letter, but the boy is interested in attending the class. Such type of name we, the teachers, are capable of getting. When who came from an ordinary school, able to get it, you are all coming from big schools. So it should be possible from every one of you that everybody's children might appreciate you as a teacher and your morality is boosted up. In a classroom, so as to say, what is the role to be played by a teacher? He has to take the stick not to threaten the student, but to see the PowerPoint. Right? Students will not like you if you take with the stick. Student will not like if you scold him. You are 100% correct. The student has done a mistake. But if you don't point out the mistake, go for the positive direction. I have seen several sets of students who got less than 10 marks in their half-yearly examination or the quarterly examination. They got 100 marks in the exam. Does it mean that I am a great teacher? No. I know my own capabilities. Because when I teach the teachers like the school, or single teacher like that, there will be a 6th standard student, 9th standard students, 12th standard student, undergraduate student, postgraduate student. One research student will also be working on his problem. Combination of all these students in a single room, about 20 people will be there. The love and the affection that you show will definitely make them to boost their morality. And the genuineness of you are questioning them, the type of question that you are putting them, the methodology that you teach them to improve, these are all the high characteristics of a good teacher. Every one of you is a good teacher because just like God given good children to you, God has given good children in the sense that they are your own students in the class. How happy you should be. Can I enter to the presidency college? I am very much afraid of. Because every boy will be having a sword. He may not know whom am I. I never go to Nandanam college as Pachwas college. But students come very willing to my college. We create an atmosphere. Institution is a superset of your classroom. How do you treat the children in the classroom is extended to the treatment in the college, is extended to treatment in the society, and is going to be a very noble student. Point out to the students that where the mistake he makes. I used to tell them, why I am asking you to come to the board. Yesterday I taught for the PG student in the University of Madras a very difficult subject called stochastic modeling. How the insurance company is likely to be ruined. We are building a model for that. I told him I am more than 80, I cannot write on the board, I require your help. Of course, I was paid very less also. With a likingness to teaching, I go there. Not for the money there. PG teaching is quite interesting to us. I used to write them. The students make a mistake. I told him, had I written, I would have made a much more mistake. So you are proceeding like that. I was able to derive some good result. And my mind made me to think also my own problem. Ruin, life is not stopped with ruin. Life is going beyond ruin called bankruptcy. So I am innovating number of problems in insurance and risk theory. Ruin is nothing, bankruptcy is most serious. How do you prevent bankruptcy? When a person gone to an emergency hospital, can he come back or is going to the burial ground? This is the problem, very simple idea is struck to me because I am teaching to the students. I ask them to write on the board. Even for a CA elementary students who are coming to us for the CPT professional exam course, I learn many things from them. When I teach quadratic equation, so simple. I don't have egoistic, I know much in quadratic, what is there. The methodology that the students think, we learn. So allow them to students to think very much. Encourage them to proceed on the board. The student must love you. Create such an atmosphere to him. When you meet the parent, tell him the good points. Say that this is also, he can come up well. You are teaching conditional probability, right? So you can say, he can come up well and do much better if he concentrate in this way. Putting the statement to him is very nice. The classroom teaching should be another. I want to give another example of the recent days. My sister's granddaughter, about 5 years back, one of the granddaughters of my sister, Vidya Mandir student, because I'm very nearby, she used to send me. She was also my student long back. So she sent her daughter as granddaughter to me. She got the school first and is now doing engineering. Another, she's a good dancer, singer, everything. Extracurricular activities if you have. I like the way in which Dr. Ramnaran conducted the program with cultural things and other. See, these are all, you are clearing the mind, making your positive thinking, focusing on good ideas. Therefore, you will be able to create many more good things. So for the second daughter, she has the inferiority complex. She is now in the 12th standard of Vidya Madhya. Since Ramnaran asked me to something say about mathematics, I thought that I want a student. But incidentally, so happened God asked my sister to send her granddaughter to me, and she came. She told me that I am afraid of going. To 5 months she avoided me. Somehow or other she came me about 2 weeks back. Then I told him, I started him with vectors. I asked him that, how do you come from your house, from Rayapata to my house? She told me via what is called Sanskrit College. Then I told him, why don't you come to CC Center? You are coming in a cycle. So you are going for 5 kilometers. That's the speed, right? But if you come via city center, that is the direction. So he introduced the concept of speed and direction is a vector. Right? So she was unable to understand vector in the school because she turned to be, she didn't want to become an engineer because her sister is an engineer. She took commerce course. Vectors is always a mesmerizing things for the commerce student. So when I tell that, my sister told me that she liked to come every day to turn from you. Will it be possible for you? The girl who hated me to come to my house to sit with me to 15 minutes of listening to me in mathematics, now we're coming every day. I have to tell her today I'm going for this conclave. Therefore, I will not be available today. You come tomorrow. I have not done anything. The same if some other girl or some other boy have approached me, I would have done the same thing. Motivation is more important rather than plainly doing the problem this way, that way, like that. I don't know which way she is going to come. She had a great difficulty in understanding a vector. Where you put an arrow up in the vector, you want to distinguish, you put your initial of your father before you. So vector is going with acceleration, the direction as well as this. Our physics teacher is also there. Your conclave is started with what? Awareness, acceptance, achievement, and now acceleration. So what is the difference between, you can introduce this subject this way in a classroom. What is the difference between the velocity and the acceleration? We have come to the first conclave. We have taken good company of all people. Some of them, because of my elderliness, taken photo also with you. I was treated very well by Ram Narayan and given coffee, tiffin, everything. It has gone good to sport. What is my achievement? Now I must speed up, right? So he wants me to accelerate. How fast you are in thinking your ideas, in implementing students in uniformity in scoring, in making them to say that they are going to be wonderful citizens of this country. Idea is very elementary. But if you go with this acceleration, achievement is going to be very powerful to the country. When Dr. Ramanarayanan started this idea, many people might have laughed. Even a small mind of mine might have also thought about it. But if you slowly think like that, why should you do it? This such a process. Automatically you will understand and realize somebody is going to get benefit out of it. This is going to be benefit to the society. What contribution we are going to make in the sense of Abdul Kalam? That we have to think in every classroom. Are we able to think the student achieves something more than what he learned previously? Learning is a cumulative process. By cumulative means you are adding up. Not learning in this class and forgetting in the next class. Cumulative thinking you must create to the student. A teacher is like a physical director. The physical director gives you the instruction to training your body. The teacher is giving the instruction to training the mind and soul. Are you making the minds and souls of the students positively thinking, meeting the demand very courageously? It should be possible for us. When people have achieved so many things which are unimaginable, do you expect that I see my grandson playing in the ground in California with my smartphone? Do you ever thought that we are going to do? I was afraid of speaking even ordinary phone in 1970. I give the phone call to somebody, landline phone, see what is he talking and tell me. Such was the person now, the young children. Therefore, it should be possible for us. You must motivate the students in that way. There is nothing wrong with the students. Honestly, I agree with everybody. And I am saying to you, our children are much better than myself. And therefore much better than all of ourselves. Generation is going up. The learning process is increasing. The thinking process is more. But you must put them on the focus. You must train them on the well and see that how they have to go up. That's your classroom work. Otherwise, he may go in the wrong direction. He will miss the correct direction. Teachers play a better role than the parents. Mata, Pita, Guru, Devam, and the God say, it doesn't mean that the God is in the final stage or Guru is more important than them. You first go through all these people, get yourself trained well, and come to me later. That's what God says. Get the training be given by your parents first. Let it be improved by the teachers. Then you are molded well. Then I will see you where I have to fit in. So that's such a training we have to give to the student. Do we really think? Sometimes, see, teaching is not an easy job. To talk for 1 hour, it is not easier. Every day talking 6 hours continuously in our lifetime is a very great difficult process. In every classes are we doing justice to the student. Every moment, now and then, I used to think whether I am able to do something good to the student. It is always coming to my mind. And therefore, at every teacher's mind, it should be there because I am representative of the teachers. So if you do that, automatically all your students will be at the top level. How great we are. What is the responsibility we are taking? How nicely we are going to implement this. Everybody is forced, but willingness is given to you. We are willing to handle the students in a classroom to see that you are to mold the students. So many co-education institutions are there, boys and girls. You do not hurt the feelings of them. You must put it in such a way that they are all encouraged. Every time summarize 5 minutes what you have done. Even suppose you teach vectors, being physics teacher is also there. So distinguish between a scalar and a vector. Give an example. You have learned the process of addition and multiplication. Somebody wear dhotis, somebody wear pants, somebody wear pajamas, but everybody wear dress. So you have addition and multiplication as operations in number system. You have the dot product and the cross product as the operations in vectors. What is the role played by dot product? What is the role played by cross product? How it takes up the chapters like anything. Curve, how the water flow into a beach. This is studied. So all these things, physics is nothing but mathematics. Mathematics is the king, queen of all sciences, we say that. We give many ideas to physics, chemistry, and every branch. Therefore, such teaching in a classroom, you see, a student should love enough to see a teacher. Sometime I used to tell in the class teacher, if one or two students get sleep, oh, today I won your mother also, because your mother used to sleep only you, but I am making sleep 4 children. In that way, I am really great. Then the boy will laugh and then immediately will get the awareness to listen. Sending him out, it is easy thing, but don't do that. Summarizing the points is very essential. So, one lecture of what our chief guest spoke, it might not have been possible for all of us to remember every statement, where he start, where he finish. The level of understanding varies. Excellence is more important. Don't compel the students. This is the main idea, is what he said. Yes. What I like to say now, students are all uniform. God has given the same capabilities to everybody. Their directions are missing. Their thinking is varying. It is your job to focus the thinking like a water flowing in a tube. It is possible. Tender minds will always accept you if you are kind enough to the students. They know that you are doing good to you. They put them in such a way that water flows through a pipe to reach your house. I can give the knowledge to you, you can reach. So that should be the idea. Teachers to study the mind of the student. Reading of the mind is very important. Classrooms, you see, when you see them, that's why online teaching is not that great important as the classroom teaching. See, we are seeing a set of students. When we see the set of students, we see them, how they like our teaching. Suddenly they vary. I see a note. So suddenly I have to change my line of thinking and taking. Therefore, when you put the information to them, you put it in such a way that they grasp it and get it benefit. That's the idea of teaching in the class. When the students go out of the class, just before that you ask him what you learned today. I will say I am teaching the quadratic equation. I will say that it is a polynomial of degree 2. When it is equated to 0, it is called an equation. It has 2 roots. Roots can be of any kind, positive, negative, rational, irrational. That can be equal means what is the condition? What is meant by the discriminant? In real life, where do you come across? You write down in the capacity of an economist, I say that in real life you come this cost function, you come the revenue function, government is interested in the profit function, that is why they introduced GST. Therefore, you can put the question in such a way that where the quadratic equation is used, how it could be related to calculus, what should be the maximum revenue you can get with minimum production. So you connect a quadratic equation with the calculus. So you must bring in the interconnection. What is the distinction between a matrix and a determinant? You can bring in such connection. See, student mind is now able to think. Why is his smartphone? News are coming to him very frequently. If you give such news to him, It's like a hot cake. Instead of taking cold coffee, you would like to take a hot coffee with you. Therefore, our teaching should go in such a way, it should be a magnetic force to the minds of the students. They should be able to abstract, assimilate, and see to others what they have learned. This is the basic principle of our classroom teaching. At the end of the teaching, you must be satisfied what that you have given to the students in this 1 hour or 45 minutes. The student must be satisfied what he has learned in this 45 minutes. Will he able to say next class what I learned, therefore he will not have the forgetfulness of the matter. If this go in a cumulative way, everybody will be able to achieve the excellence. See, scoring 100 marks is just like asking the batsman, you must go a century. If he writes 6 sixes, we are happy, right? He is playing very nicely. If he is not out still playing, we are happy. Let us not be focused on a single word, scoring 100 marks. Let us focus on the word that you are making him to reach towards 100 marks. That will be possible only if in every day's class he understands your teaching fully. You must put the full effect on the class. He must take the full effort from you or from the class. What is the level of study between these two? There's a good coordination between the teacher and the student. If you are successful in doing that, and if you make the student like you, if he doesn't put a leave because he feels that attending your class is more important, our goal is achieved. Today it might appear that is a mockery question that asking the student scoring 100 marks. After a few years, when everybody is going to reach this, we do not know whether you and I are going to note that, our future generation is going to note. In China it is happening. Why not in India? China is in no way better than Indian, but they are hard workers, no doubt. In classroom teaching, I see that it is fully implemented and every aspect of the concepts, and every student has to get 100 out of 100 marks. There are many schools in China. In fact, they always dominate the American schools, that they are the best students in the world in mathematics, and so in general in study. Therefore, I would like to conclude, because of my time, that it is not an impossible story. It is a really possible event. The possibility is going to be achieved. Depends upon how fast your thinking and confidence in this direction is. If you think that we are not the paid servant, we are not teaching for salary, we have a great responsibility in the society, we are molding students to learn and thereby getting them education, I am quite sure we will be able to achieve this goal. I do not know I have done much better the course or not. I am able to do something today in this event, touching my own heart and expressing my own feelings of what I have done in the past, that it should also be possible by every one of you, because we belong to the same category as teachers. We have our own self-consciousness, much better than any other profession. And we should be in a position to prove that our children are going to like us much more than any other profession. And it all depends upon how you bat in the class and how the student watch and get benefit. Thank you all for giving this elementary talk.